It is conference championship time. Still plenty of reason to get excited for this. I don't know if we'll be as excited 2 or 3 years from now, but I don't want to get Caleb started on how he hates the 12 or team playoffs. So let's just get going right now and picks in conference championship games. And it's brought to you today by our friend at Rick Terry Jewelry Design. Rick Terry, those fire opals are awesome. Let's go. What do you got?
Hey now.
All right, so I'm doing something unique this week, guys. Typically, I only bet SEC and then all top 25 games is what I usually do. By the way, went 4-1 on my bets of the week last week, so now I'm about 52% on both. Just not to brag, I'm very humble, guys. But this week, I'm just going to pick all 10 conference championship games, even the group of 5 ones. And I did a little bit of research on them.
Oh my Lord!
And
do the group of 5 quickly.
All right, so group of 5 quickly. New Mexico State at Liberty. I got New Mexico State covering the 11.5 spread. I don't think they'll beat Liberty. Liberty's undefeated, but I think New Mexico State covers that spread, and the game hits the under. New Mexico State's been playing good defense. Ask Auburn about New Mexico State.
Okay, what is what is our sounding board thing?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like you hate organized religion at Liberty. What's wrong with you? Go ahead. What's next?
Well, yeah, ask Jerry Falwell Jr. about that organized religion, liking to watch his wife with the bullboy.
I stumbled onto that recently, and I didn't know all that backstory, but that was a little bizarro that he...
Oh, yeah, Liberty, family. Whenever a school's in your face about family, Christian values, there's usually something they're hiding behind it. Just that's the biggest lesson. Hugh Freeze is the most in-your-face Christian coach.
You got 30 seconds to give me those group of 5 picks.
Okay, the other ones. All right. Toledo's going to cover the 8-point spread against Miami, and I got the over 44. UNLV plus 2.5 against Boise State because Boise State fired their coach, and I hear the players are not happy about the coach being fired. So UNLV's plus 2.5. And then I got the under 58.5. Appalachian State and Troy. Troy's favored by 6, but Appalachian State's red hot. I think they cover that 6-point spread, and I got the over 52.5. And then this will be a playoff game next year, Dave, because of the 6 automatic bids. Tulane versus SMU. Tulane's going to cover the 3.5-point spread, and the under 47.5 is going to hit. And Dave thinks that it's good for college football that Tulane and SMU is a freaking playoff matchup. But
I think it's fantastic. I think I love it. All right, so let's get to the what is it now? The Big 12, Oklahoma State at Texas.
No, I'm going to start with Friday night, Pac-12.
Okay, I guess I'll just go read a book. You can do what you need to do.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Do you want to?
Go ahead, and I'm going to give you my input, but give me the spread as well. Let's start where you need to start.
All right, so Oregon's favored by 9.5. Dave, I think Oregon's going to cover. I think Oregon's going to beat the brakes off Washington Friday night.
That's crazy.
That seems
really.
Yeah, I wouldn't take not as a rule. I wouldn't take 9 in a championship game or a game of matter that that is significant.
Well, the over-under is 65.5. I think the under hits with that one. I think Oregon's defense, I think Washington's offense has been struggling for 2 weeks, and Oregon's defense will make it struggle again.
I'm your huckleberry.
All right, what else we got?
All right, so moving on. Texas, Oklahoma State. Dave, I'm sorry. I know you don't like big spreads. I got Texas covering the 15.5-point spread. I think Oklahoma State is the luckiest team in college football this year. They've got TCU 2022 had good luck happening. So I think Texas is going to cover. Quinn Ewers goes off, and I think the over hits because Quinn Ewers goes off. Texas offense.
It's time to already contradict myself.
Hey now.
In this particular scenario, I like Texas in the big number. All right, what's next?
All right, so 3. I'll save the SEC title for last since we were talking about it. All right, here's my favorite one. Okay, so here's a bet to stay away from. Stay away from this bet at all costs, and of course, I'm going to bet on it because that's what I do.
Say wham.
But all right, Louisville, Florida State. I have no idea what to bet on this game, but I'm going to bet Louisville plus 2.5. I don't know if they'll win, but I think I just don't know what Florida State we're going to get without Jordan Travis, and I can't count last week against Florida. That's a rivalry game.
Okay, if I'm one of the people listening right now, and you say, yeah, you have no idea, but you're giving me a pick, I'm like this.
You suck. Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the next one because don't play. Nobody play that game and get on board Monday and be like, "What happened to you, Caleb? What's next?"
Yeah, and then I've got the over 47.5 with that one. So that's all right. So next, all right, this is my favorite one. I'm pretty much sure about all of these. Iowa, Michigan. I got Iowa covering the 21.5-point spread. Michigan doesn't win games by 21 like that. It's too much ball control on both sides. So
Hey now.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah, and then here's the best. Dave, guess what the over-under is set in for this game?
What?
34.5. I'm going under. I'm taking the under on this. I'm seeing like a 21-7 win for Michigan. Maybe even
Alright.
14-3. I don't know what you think.
No, I can see that. I think Michigan wins comfortably, about like they did against Ohio State. What was the final in that?
30-24.
Yeah, but golly, it felt like Michigan was in control.
But do you
throughout
think
that
the over-under, do you think the game goes over total 34.5 or under? Iowa had a game last week that was under 27. The over-under was 27, and they couldn't go over. They've been hitting unders all year. It's the worst offense in the history of college football.
I think sometimes the over-under goes over my head. All right, what's next?
All right, now we got last, and this is one we can spend the most time on since we were just talking about it. SEC championship game, Alabama, Georgia. All signs say Georgia should win in a blowout, but I just feel like Alabama plus 5.5. I don't know if they'll win, but I think Alabama's going to cover the 5.5 point spread, and I think it's going to go under 54.5 because I think Alabama's defense is just going to step up.
I don't know why, but I think so too. I think it could be a little bit one-sided. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying 50-20, okay, but I'm saying it could kind of feel like that the game we were just talking about, the Tim Tebow game. It I don't remember the final score in that game, but this could be 10 that really feels like 14 or 17. I don't know why, but I just really like Alabama in this game.
I do too. And also okay, we both agree Georgia's been getting by on, can we say this much in Nick Saban's favor? Now, Kirby Smart's a great defensive coach, but Georgia largely has gotten by because their talent overwhelms everybody, haven't they? And I mean, I can't really say I've seen a lot of scheming. One of the things I thought about with Nick Saban that I thought was
the
really
run
impressive,
pass against Tennessee.
The run
Where they pitched it. I don't understand why you pull out trick plays against teams that you've already got beat. But anyway.
Billy Napier pulls out trick plays when his team is up 12-0 and driving and ready to take control.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with the teams running up the score either. But to me, running the run pass, which they ran against Tennessee, is analogous to running up the score. I have no problem with either, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me because I think it hurts you down.
Yeah, exactly. And I've said it all year, and I've looked stupid all year, Dave. But I'm going to go back to it. I still am sticking with my guns on this. I'm still going to say that if things get a little tight against a team like Alabama, I trust Nick Saban over Mike Bobo. And
That's
you
Harris Hilton, great sports track. Yes, I do too. I mean, and I could see this being a game where Georgia looks like the better team for a half and a halftime adjustment, a la Tennessee with Nick Saban. Sports Treasures carrying over 5 million sports treasures and so much more. Follow on Facebook for the best sports memorabilia, daily updates. You go to Facebook and go to Sports Treasures TN. Sports Treasures TN. The daily updates are awesome. I share them on offthehooksports.com. By the way, go to Off the Hook Sports on our Facebook page. Like that, follow, because you'll get the latest information. You can check out the book. The book is what I call it because it's been a bear. Relive the greatest season in Tennessee football with behind-the-scenes story about the 1998 National Championship team. Click below for Celebrate 98, the untold stories behind the Tennessee Vols 1998 National Championship, available in soft and hard copy, personalized autographed copies available. And I can tell you this, nobody that's read the book has come out and completely told me that it sucked. I don't know how you would do that if an author says, because I follow up and I say, I'm just curious how you like the book. And I've learned that they all say, yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it. And I just wonder if some are lying to me.
I could see that, but I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
I appreciate it.
A couple of things I wanted to address real quick.
A lot of people, by the way, let me just say this too. A lot of people weighing in on Tennessee's basketball team. We led the show with that, so you can always go back and listen.
Well, I'm going to, and before this ends, I'm going to respond to one last comment, but I want to get to, I want to get to one. Smoky Mountain Red. Bobo is not Georgia's Cutcliffe. Sorry.
By the way, Smoky Mountain Red, nice enough to say 0 sucks given to Hooker's book. I appreciate that.
Bobo is not Georgia's Cutcliffe. Bobo is Georgia's John Chavis, but on the other side of the ball. And so I think that this is what I'm talking about. I think
he's getting ready to coach. So he's getting ready to coach middle school football. Is what you're telling me.
Well, I'm potentially, I'm potentially seeing a what you just said, 2001 style SEC title game. How much better talent-wise was Tennessee than that LSU team? It wasn't even close, right? They weren't even in the same stratosphere. And Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher made one adjustment, and Chavis couldn't figure it out for the life of him. And I'm kind of seeing that could happen with this with Mike Bobo. Now, that's all I wanted to say on that, but I just have to respond to
All
this
I
one
got
thing.
to say about that, are you going full Forrest Gump
No,
here?
I want to give a news segment on this. SEC football, I get your point. Vescovi was 0. He should be shameful and embarrassed. I got to break some news on this. Santiago Vescovi was dealing with an injury. He also went back home to Uruguay this offseason because there was a personal family matter. We don't know what that family matter is, but Wes Rucker tweeted this out last night, and it's true. He's not been the same since. I think we should all just reserve a little judgment on him because I think we all remember Chris Lofton having that underwhelming senior year, and then we find out what happened. I'm not saying Vescovi has cancer or anything like that. I'm saying that there's a personal matter that he hasn't let us on, and I think it might be affecting his play right now.
Well, I was going to mention the Chris Lofton thing. I'll share a quick Uncle Dave story if you don't mind. So
Yeah, that's
Mike
fine.
Griffith, who we've had on, was in charge of covering basketball at the time, and they asked me. They said, "Can you go over and cover this basketball banquet?" And I'm like, "I've never been asked to cover a banquet in my life, but free food. It's the off season. Sure, I'll go cover it. It counts as a work day." And they basically sat down in an impromptu press conference and said, "Oh, by the way, the best player on the basketball team has testicular cancer and has had so all year." So you're like, what? I mean, you had no idea that there was any news like that coming out. It was the same thing with the Bruce Pearl press conference, the original one where he had lied to the NCAA. We all thought maybe he was, we kind of thought he was hiring an assistant coach, and Mike Griffith would never admit it, but he got blown away by that. He had no idea that was coming. He was out of town, and I covered the Chris Lofton thing, and I suddenly thought to myself, there were all those people that handled Chris Lofton respectfully, and I want to give you kudos as a fan base. Let's handle this part respectfully, too, because people would say, I don't know what's wrong with Chris Lofton, but something just doesn't seem right. That's a very fair way of saying it, and you can say the same thing with Vescovi because we don't know what's happening with his family. Say that. Don't say he suddenly spit the bit and he's terrible. I would offer that. I'm not telling you I know the inside as to what's going on, but it's something we'll look into. And if it's something I feel like I should and could share with you, I will. But family problems is family problems, kids. We have fun being on here. We enjoy spending time with you. But if that young man has a serious family issue, that trumps all else, needless to say.